What's up, fam? It's LW. Another junkyard trip today. So, out here messing around, looking for Jeep parts, looking for Volkswagen parts. Another day in life, you know? So, probably just gonna do a video today and let stuff run. Not much cuts. Junkyard trip number 2 on my channel. So today I might even pull a cylinder head for you on the 4.0. Just kind of mess around, might show you some tips and tricks, stuff like that, but messing around looking for Jeeps, see what I can find. Hope you guys are well. It's the end of April. My birthday just passed. Yeah. Happy birthday to me. So, yeah, today we're just looking at mashed up cars. Have fun. Oh man. Kind of cold outside today. It's been hot lately too, so it's still the morning, but we're gonna see what we can get into out here. I don't even know how much battery life my freaking camera has, so if it cuts off, I'm sorry, but they don't have no damn carts in this one. Some of these yards, man, they're really compact. Like you'll see, like you really can't get a wheelbarrow through here, and you have some that are just like way open space. But this is one of the junkyards here nearby me that has like no organization to it. So you have to like look through every row, like just to find one car. It's kind of crappy, but once you kind of get used to certain yards like this, you just kind of figure out where everything's at. Like this back corner is usually a lot of Jeeps, but I'm looking for like a 99 2000 WJ. Same one I've been working on, good old Sarge. Working on Sarge right now, so today just messing around. There's some Jeeps back here, but a bit older. Take a look, take a look. Oh, these are old. Freaking spiders everywhere. Sheesh. So, I'm just gonna kind of look around. Who knows if I'll find a Volkswagen in here, but looking for a bushing, a specific bushing for a GTI 6-speed. Took this shop, had a clutch done a long time ago before I even really was working on it. I'm talking probably 5 years ago the clutch went out, and one of their mechanics replaced the shift linkage with a bolt. So yeah, picking up pieces on that one. I cannot find a Jeep to save life from here. So I'm just kind of browsing around, but it's all good. I can't find a Jeep up in here. I'm gonna just do some tips and tricks. Some back there that is old as hell. Old. There's a Jeep, I think it's a Patriot. And the engine's on the ground. That ain't gonna do us no good. Yikes. So, set this down for just a second. If I can't find a good solid Jeep, start tearing some shit apart because, well, I'm doing a video today. I didn't sleep much last night. Pounded a freaking Black Rifle Company coffee at like midnight, and I was out making some cash and way too late. Should have done that one. So I slept about 30 minutes. Oh yeah. One's sitting here. I got a white one. This one's a little newer, but yeah, this is a 4.7 V8, so it's not what we're looking for. Looking for pull a 4.0 head for you, but this looks like the right one. So, kind of talk Jeep here with you for a little bit. This one's already got it yanked, so 4.0 already pulled. What can I tell you here? So, one thing I am going to be doing is doing so this is the ALE calipers that come on the Jeep. This is what comes on mine, so I'm going to be doing an Akibono swap. So I'll be doing a video on that soon. And one of the main differences is, well, they're better brakes, but the ALE calipers, they tend to warp your rotors and they stick. The Akibonos don't come with the clips here. So when you do the swap, you have to get different rotors, the calipers and the pads. So I'll be going over that one soon, but I can't believe this one's already pulled, dude. What the heck? So other thing I'm looking for is door clips, and I'm gonna leave you guys a good link on door clips here, just to kind of get you guys in the loop with Amazon. Amazon has some good door clips, which these are actually replacement door clips. These are not the original ones, so I'll leave a link, but this is the style I'm going to be going with in Sarge. The stock little white ones that come with it are crap. They really aren't very good at all. So I also need this piece here. That's kind of dinged up. I'm looking for pieces that aren't dinged up. Hard finding that in the junkyard here. All these are ripped out. So, looking around in here, we don't really need much. But the other things I'm going to be doing here, I just ordered door speakers, and I was going to do a little review on a FM transmitter that I'm getting. You guys probably think it's kind of cool. A lot of people use them now, but better than running CDs and connecting your phone. It's one you can actually run a USB to. It's a lot nicer, but let's see what we got in here. Nope. Ain't what we're looking for, but we might come back and mess around with it. Ding ding. On WJ. And engine's gone. Shit, there ain't nothing here. So, yeah, today's just a mess around here, to be honest. Looking for 4.0s. No more. Jeez, can't seem to find a 4.0. One piece to save your life in here, huh? I see nothing in here. So, might be screwed on the inline today, but I'll just go over some of this stuff and teach you guys some tips and tricks, this and that. Maybe we'll tear some stuff apart. Just screw around. debating doing here soon. I'm gonna end up picking up another Grand Cherokee or a Cherokee, and I'm gonna end up swapping a Dakota motor in. The V6, I think it's a 4.7. So I favor that engine over the 4.7 V8 that comes in the Jeeps. So we're gonna do a little bit of work on one here soon. We're gonna do a swap. Oh, no area. That one's on the ground. What we got in here? Street. Let's see. It's gone, dog. It's gone. So, yeah. Days just mess around days. Let's find a car we can wrench on, because I ain't finding no Jeeps anywhere. Suppose we could work on a work van. I think I'm going to start doing this too, so I'll start doing junkyard videos. And maybe people can leave me suggestions on what they're working on or what they have. Like, drop in the comments kind of what you drive. What's your car? You're driving a 300C, a Neon. You're driving a Jeep. What you driving? Maybe I can teach you some tricks on certain things. So that might be what I end up doing. There's a red one over there. Is taking comments or comment requests in the comment section for cars. And start yarding them apart and teach you guys this and that, whatever I know. Well, it's kind of fun for me. Days like this I'm kind of off, so I really don't have that much going on. So yeah, screw it. I'll take this one apart, alright? So let's go up. I released a video earlier on the horn relays on these. So the horn and starter relays are swappable. Heads up. Mind you, this is going to be a video for some people that don't have a lot of money. So here's something pretty easy for you here. So say you're taking out an alternator in a Jeep, alright? Dodge, Jeep, whatever, it's up top here. So you're taking out an alternator. Only thing you have is a set of wrenches. You don't really have much of a ratchet. You don't pretty much got crap tools. So, or say you don't have a 14 socket. You don't got much money. Can't make it to the yard. So, can't make it to the store. Sorry. So, look at this. Okay. A lot of people know this trick. Can't get it off. Can't get it off. Okay. So, what do you have? Okay. You can take another wrench. It's a little bit bigger. All right. You can take another wrench. It's a little bit bigger. Okay. Slightly bigger. So 17, 14. You can slip that wrench up over. Okay. You can spin it. There's tension to it. Okay. Whether you're tightening it up or you're loosening it. Buddy wrench method. Okay. The buddy wrench method. The buddy wrench method, okay? Got that extension on there. They make an actual tool that fits these. That's a buddy wrench, technically. And it has teeth that kind of grabs it and works on it. But so you got... I'm just going to start tearing apart, get you guys tricks that I know. I could easily shoot this out with an impact gun. I'll just teach you guys different things I know. So... with the Jeep, what's some of the hardest things to do on this? Well, Jeeps are really straightforward. So if I were to really show you some tricks, I'd show you how to do a timing belt on a PT Cruiser in under 2 hours. It's doable. I've done it before where I've slipped a belt off and on, and I think it was in a parking lot. I did it actually with an old friend of mine, I guess you could say, that went left, but you know what it is. So what else can I show you guys today? So, well, the other 14 there. So set you right there, okay, and click on the light. So buddy wrench method, okay. Buddy wrench method. You can spin it. If you're gonna do it this way, you flip the wrench over, all right, and you can tighten it up. So that's just a little trick that I know. It's an easy one. Most mechanics know it. This is kind of a video for people who are just watching or whatever. And this isn't for some master ASC mechanic. You know it, so don't worry about it. Don't give me shit. But there's a lot of things that I've learned. So one I might actually tear this alternator out and open and show you guys. I actually did a repair on a guy's F250 a while ago, where I had a pulley that was squeaking on one of these, and the way I ended up fixing it was I pulled it apart and I ended up pulling it apart and re-greased the entire thing. Did like a half end rebuild. I basically re-greased the bearing that was in it. So today we're just screwing around. I'll look for a Volkswagen, but I'm not finding any straight sixes. I was gonna pull ahead for you guys and do that, but doesn't look like that's gonna happen today. So mind you, I could be using better tools here too, but we're gonna go quick on this one too. No battery in it, so start clipping wires here. I don't really care today, so just heads up. Always know when I'm in the junkyard, I don't care. I start clipping shit. Okay. Okay, so power wire should be shooting this apart, but okay, so before I go any further, okay, I was actually going to do a tool review on this. I didn't get a chance. So this is the AC Delco G12 series electric ratchet. Okay, this one here, Amazon, 50-60 bucks. Nice ratchet. It's kind of loud. That's the only thing I could say about it. It provides about 45 foot-pounds of torque, so it does a good job for small applications that you're not using an impact gun and that type of stuff. So when you have a bolt that you break loose, obviously it's nice to have it. Mainly you can run bolts out really quick, so it saves me a lot of time on jobs when I use it. So the one thing I will say about it, let's see, that's got a nut on the other side. So the one thing I can say about that electric ratchet, though, the only thing I don't like about it, the only thing that I do not like about it is this battery is really hard to get out. You have to really squeeze it. I've had to use pliers just to get them out, and it's really annoying. That's the only thing I don't like about the AC Delco, is the battery on it. It's a pain in the ass to get off of the ratchet. It's not fun. That's the only thing I don't like versus like the Milwaukee or this and that. Some people would actually prefer it so the battery doesn't fall out. But it comes with a charger, a little slip-in charger. It's really straightforward. It's probably one of the, a lot of people give me crap and say get Snap-on or get Milwaukee or get DeWalt. I have had no problems with this ratchet, and it has been through hell and high water for me. So I have been through a lot with it. I really have not experienced any problems. So It's not a 17. Let's go look. What else I got here? I'll try 15. Okay, got 15 on it there. One thing I don't do with this ratchet, and I usually don't, a lot of people will tell me, you know, it's whatever, you can do it, is I don't break bolts loose manually with it. I know you can, but a lot of people give me crap and say you can, yada yada. I just don't like it. But okay. Okay. So I just like to preserve the life of the ratchet. So when it comes to bolts, you know what I mean? A lot of people say, you know, just turn them out. You can use the ratchet manually and then run it. I personally don't really care, so it's one of those things. I just don't want to end up breaking a chain or a gear in here and then I'm replacing it. Nobody's giving me warranties, so I'm a little more careful when it comes to these. When it comes to electric ratchets, this and that. I don't like turning manually with them. Every single mechanic, TRQ would probably whip me for it, I'm sure, but to be honest, I just preserve the life of the ratchet. I'm more of that type of a guy, so I take care of my tools. I don't screw around. So, okay. I'm gonna take this alternator out really quick. So the 460 that I worked on, it had an internal regulator that bolts to it. For this one, I'll kind of show you what I did, but when you have a pulley that's squeaking, like so, I'll kind of open one of these up and show you. I don't think many people do this, so, oh well, I'm going to do it for you today. I don't think I have my pulley on there. Oh, I do. I got my big set. I don't know if it's going to work. See? Yep. So to get these pulleys off, I have to use an impact gun with it, okay? Have your foot on it a little bit. Alright. Pulleys come off. So a lot of times when you have an alternator that's squeaking, okay, just squealing like mad, the belt's not, belt being replaced doesn't help. Got this bearing sitting in here, okay? This has to be completely greased, and that's how I've been able to keep alternators. Sometimes you can get them to where you can just grease in here and it's just squealing in there. Many times it's the bearing where the shaft goes through it. So get these apart and take these bolts out of it, keep it together. So sorry, I'm gonna try to keep my shit together here. I don't like leaving stuff behind, so. So one thing I can say is there's some of these, most of these alternators, you can re-grease the bearings in them, and if they're still good, if your alternator is still charging and it's just squealing, you can pull these apart, but be very careful, because a lot of times I've had it where one that's had a lot of wear on them, they've been in there a long time. When you pull your regulator, there's usually two magnets that will face one way or the other. Don't mix that up. It's one thing I can tell you, don't mix up where they go, because if you send it the other way, it's gonna have a, it's just not, they can fail a lot. So you'll notice that sometimes you'll have it where you rebuild it and it fails on you. So it's not always the best way to go. That's pretty much what I've told people before, is just be careful. If it's old, so say it's like a super old alternator, It's on its last legs anyway, you know, this and that. It's really, it doesn't do any harm to just rebuild the thing. Or whatever, you know, just do it. But that's just me. I'll just pull them apart and grease them. If they're newer, you know, it's kind of a gamble with it, so a lot of times that's not it. I'm seeing if I don't have a 1/4 inch on me, so I may not take this all the way apart. I left most of my shit in the car, so. So, when it comes to this, I don't have it on me. I just have my 8, so you'll take your 8mm bolts out, okay? All of them. And pull this apart. You'll have a bearing in the back here that usually is covered in copper shavings. A lot of times you can clean the copper shavings out. Some people leave them in. But re-grease this bearing. You can even do it from the outside. So if it's squealing, your alternator squealing, take your pulley off, okay? Re-grease here and throw your pulley back on. Put your nut back on it, okay? You know, just shoot them back on, but if that doesn't fix it, you're gonna be pulling it apart. And you might as well, because if you're gonna replace your alternator anyway, you might as well pull it apart and give it a shot. So you might as well try and re-grease it. If it doesn't go, it doesn't go. If it fails, it fails. You're replacing it anyway. So it doesn't. That's something that I recommend people. If your alternator's charging, but it's squealing, you might as well re-grease it. Okay. That's just from me. So, what else can I say here? What else we got in here we can screw around with? Just talk to you guys a little bit about maintenance. I'm pretty much just screwing around here because I don't really have. I have no cars of interest, no 4.0s. The only one I have is completely ripped apart. So this is an older Jeep than Sarge. So okay, so for Jeep, this is different than the 4.0, of course, but with maintenance, I would say every 2 to 3 oil changes that you do, replace your PCV valve. A lot of people, they clean them out with starting fluid or, well, throttle body cleaner, whatever you do. I would say replace it every 2 to 3 oils, probably every 3 oil changes. Some people might disagree with me, but I just noticed with Jeeps, pretty much all cars, they get gunked up pretty bad. And so definitely replace it. Replace your hose for it too. Anything but silicone. I don't really like silicone when it comes to heat. Certain cars is okay, depends on if you're doing vacuum or what, but I'm not a big fan of it. So when it comes to Jeep motors, something I did realize is if you go and you get plugs for the inline 6 or any of those, I hate to call out a brand, but don't buy Champion plugs. I just say that for Jeep. Some other cars I've used them and it's not bad, but I had a buddy that had an inline, and he bought the Champion plugs from either Amazon or O'Reilly's, one of the two, and they caused the car to completely misfire. Like, it caused serious issues with it. I don't like Champion plugs. Go with NGK Iridiums. That's probably your best bet when it comes to Jeep. So, and I'm just using Jeep as I could be working on this little charger here, but I'm just screwing around today. So actually, these are nice seats too, man. This is an older Jeep, of course, but so PCV valve I would keep up on if you're having hard starts. So it's just cranking and cranking and cranking, it won't start over. I did a video on this before. Swap out your fuel filter. That's something I would recommend. Everybody should pay attention to that. Swap out your fuel filter. It's just easier. It's way easier, dude. So swap out your fuel filter, your PCV valve. If you're doing Jeep, avoid Champion plugs. It's just something I've realized. If you're squeaking on your alternator, you can grease your pulleys, okay? When it comes to, I showed you guys the starter or the relay situation where you can swap the horn relay for the starter relay, and that's if you have power but you're not You're not cranking and you have no clicking when you're turning the keys. It's generally check your starter relay and swap it for the horn. There's a lot of people that will run into this where, so you have your horn relay, which I believe that's your horn relay. Use example here. Your horn relay is gone. You have no horn relay because somebody swapped it out for the starter already. So you have no horn, you have no horn relay. But your starter's not starting and it's your relay. You're stuck in a parking lot or you're stuck somewhere. You can literally take this out, okay? So you take out your starter relay and you can either take the case off of it. What I do is I take an X-Acto knife or I take a pair of pliers and I'll just break the case right here. Like I'll crack it. And once it's flimsy, you can push in on it and it will take the tab and touch the coil and start the car while your key is in the on position. So if you're stranded somewhere, your starter relay's out and your horn relay's missing because they swapped it already and threw the other one away, screw it, I don't have a horn. Make your cuts here, boom, fired up and good to go. It works every time. I've had people that have called me for this a lot. When it comes to Jeep, they'll call me and I can't start my car, I'm stuck in a parking lot, it's just, I got power, it just won't turn over. No clicking, no nothing. Go underneath the hood and find, well, I can just swap the relay and $50 I showed up and you're home free. All you have to do is go buy a relay and stick it right in there. Don't have to be a master mechanic to stick a relay in there. Kind of where I was at with it, with this. Some other cars you can do this. I know there's Chryslers. This Dodge, the Caliber might have them. Actually, you know what? We'll take a look at it. Some of them use the same exact relay. And, well, there's nothing there. So, some of them use the same exact relay. I think the PT Cruiser uses the same starter relay. I think, maybe not. I can't remember. So, what else can I tell you here? I did another video, by the way, about burping your coolant system. Anytime you change the thermostat, the water pump, the radiator, if you open up the cooling system at all, do the technique that I was talking about where you elevate your coolant reservoir, hang it by a hook up there so it just hangs here. Open up your cap and you'll stick a piece of wire in there right here so this cap stays partially open like that while it's in there. So a lot of times when you have radiators like this, they can easily slip in there. So it depends on the radiator you're working with too. It really does. So what you can do as well for something like this is something like well, if you have like a half moon washer, that works really good. So if you have like a half moon washer or a washer that you can cut in half that fits this and it just sits in there and kind of leaves it open just a little bit and the air can escape by here, you can basically burp your coolant system and you don't have to have it vacuumed out at a shop. I don't know about Jeep on this one, but I do it to any vehicle that I work on. If I do a water pump, thermostat, radiator, anything coolant driven, I even do it with head gaskets, anything that I open the coolant system at all, I'll do a gravity feed with burping the air out, sit on the gas for a little bit, you'll be able to see the air bubbles moving through here. I did a short video on YouTube about it a while ago, so that's kind of where I'm at. What else can I say about maintenance with these things? Well, someone cut the belt. Looking around. What else can we say? Always check your air filter, of course, like hello. But there are certain things. Cleaning throttle body. I will recommend on the inline 6 taking your intake off and cleaning it and doing that type of a cleanup. If you do a head gasket on the Jeep on the inline 6, it is really easy. Of course, this isn't an inline 6, so I can't really show you, but I'll talk about it. The camshaft sits in the block, so all you have to do is unbolt your valve cover. Say this is an inline 6, your valve cover, and unbolt your rockers, and your head bolts, and you can pull it off and put it back on. And the only thing you really have to do, it's kind of like the old Chevy 350. So the old Chevy 350, people would adjust valves in them differently. Some people would have them at top dead center and tighten every valve that's shut, and then rotate the engine 180 degrees, or I think it was 180 degrees. I'd have to look it up again. It's in my mind somewhere. It's early, but you tighten the rest of the valves after 180, or you can adjust the crank in increments and tighten every valve that drops. There's an order to it, but when it comes to Jeep, any valve that's closed, you can tighten it up. Don't tighten any of the valves up if they are open. You can bend valves, you can do that. So realistically, all you really have to do when it comes to an inline 6 head gasket is replace your gasket, replace your head bolts, of course, but you just basically have to do you have to tighten your valves in order so that you're not bending them. That's really, you don't really have to mess with timing, which is really nice on those. It's good to do a timing chain, of course, but you don't really have to screw a timing on them. So that's actually one reason why I favor the inline 6, is if your head gasket blows, dude, you can get that done really quick. It's freaking fast, dude. So that's one thing I will tell you about the inline 6 motor. I've owned a few inline 6s. One of them was in a Ford, I think an 84 at 250. I love the inline 6s, man. It's like driving a little mini diesel around. They're just weird. They're cool because they're high in torque, so you can mob them everywhere, which is really cool. There's nothing left in here, so nothing. Looks like every Jeep in here is freaking stripped. We'll keep looking, but this is an older one, but maybe not. Actually, this looks like a WJ. Couldn't really tell at first, but oh, come on, baby. She's stuck. Yeah, she's stuck. There might be an inline in there, I don't know. So, come around this side really quick. Alright. So when it comes to that Jeep inline 6, I would prefer that engine over any of the Jeep V8s. I just favor them. They're a lot easier to work on. Things go south, they're a lot cheaper. Bit easier to dig around. They get better gas mileage. I actually noticed that mine sips gas if I just baby it around town. So kind of looking around here to see what else I can find for a Jeep. Where's the Jeeps? I think it's a Patriot. Yep. No motor. So looks like a lot of people have been pulling Jeep motors out of here. Haven't found one inline. I've been pulling off the head. There's a few other things I was gonna do, but it doesn't seem like the yard's giving it to me today. What else? Dude, that is weird. I don't know what the heck that is, but freaking clown car, dude. That's weird. I wouldn't drive it. So, oh, here's an older one, but it's not. It's a V8, so another Jeep. Look around. So, what I was saying about the inline 6, if you pull your intake off, clean the crap out of it, dude. A lot of people will take them to get them dipped, have them hot tanked. Not a bad idea, to be honest. I actually wouldn't. I wouldn't mind sending them in, but you can clean them out, and intake cleaner, brake parts cleaner, good brush, clean out the ports. it's a good idea if you're doing your head gasket on them to do that. It's just wise. It'll run better gas mileage. One thing I will say with the Jeeps, I've done a lot of O2 sensors on them. And something I have done is these stock O2 sensors in them, they last a long time, it seems. That's something I kind of noticed with some I've worked on. I'm like, ooh, these are like rusted and they're solid OEM with 200,000. And people pull them off and clean them and throw them back in. Well, maybe some of them don't last long. Maybe you have a different experience. But every car is different, I suppose. Oh, what was that, a Jeep? Nope, a Suzuki Trooper. Gross. I don't ever want to drive one of those things again. So, let's see what else I can show you. Well, we're looking for Volkswagen parts, so we'll take a look at the Audi here. One thing I will say is, one thing I despise about Audi, well, is doing oil pans on the 2.0. Dude, that's not fun. You have to get the strut tower brace with a chain and hoist them up so you can get the pan out of them. That's something I really don't like. I've worked on a lot of them. They're just, as long as you got that chain hoist and the strut, it's really not that bad, but they are packed in there. A lot different than Volkswagen that I've seen. So let's head back this way. Let's see if we can freaking find something. Hey, that's pretty cool. That's old school. Sorry, I'm just messing around today. That's old school, dog. I'd rock it. Goes around and driving. At least that engine in somewhere. It's an old Jaguar over there. It's kind of messing around. This is one of the more fun yards. It's got weird stuff here, so. But yeah, so what can I say? I really don't like working on BMW. I freaking hate Mercedes. I'll do it. Like, I'll do them. That's fine. I really don't mind working on them, I guess. But there's just certain jobs with the Beamer. Alternators are freaking easy. That's one thing. But you get deeper into it, like, do a pan gasket on I think it's a 328i or 330i. The newer ones. I don't know what the other ones. They're freaking hard, dude. Involved. So, one thing I will say is I'm still looking for a seat relay. I should have grabbed it when I went on my first Junkyard trip. Stupid, no engine. Okay. Look at that Volkswagen here. So yeah, if you guys see the video, if you guys want to know certain things about certain cars, drop it in the comments. I've worked on a lot, so Mitsubishi. I know a lot of Mitsubishi. Oh, they're the same color, baby. Mitsubishi, I know a lot about. Even if it's just a Chrysler motor. The old 2.0 GS, RS Eclipses. I worked on a lot of them. I owned a couple of them. One of my good friends, I still consider him a good friend, I just don't see him much anymore. We rebuilt a couple of them, just dicking around in the garage. And yeah, I miss him a lot, man. He's lives up north. I don't talk to him anymore, but I miss him. We rebuilt a Talon and a GS, both non-turbo, but it was hands deep. I rebuilt a 2.0 engine. It was one of my first engine rebuilds, actually. I did it with him, but it was one of my favorite engines was that little 2.0, but it was just a gas getter, man. Like, you really wouldn't pay much for gas in that freaking thing. Freaking cheap. So that was kind of why I favored it, but let's see if we can get a relay out. I don't think we can. Oh, whatever. Well, there's the relay for it. So we're gonna try and get that one. I suppose. Shit. Another thing, watch your tools, man. Drop me here in the junk. I'm looking for Beetle parts for a customer, and I almost dropped a video on it recently. I was close to doing it, but I redid a vacuum system. Somebody had ripped out a vacuum system in it, and I fixed it, but there's just little things that I wanted to get from it. So kind of one of my good customers, I consider a good friend. So this one, it's not a turbo, but I basically redid the turbo section of it, and was looking for a box like this. That these come undone, and it's a pain in the butt, dude, to get that back together. But yeah, so I've got customers that have different cars, so I keep my eyes out for shit. Volkswagens and Jeeps, Fords, Chevy, just about everything. The only thing I don't really work on is Saab, mainly because nobody wants to drive them. They're pieces of shit, but that's just coming from me. I really don't like them. One thing I can tell you about Volkswagen, these are random tips, dude. Honestly, if you just come across this and you own the car, whatever, you start dropping me cars, I'll do a video on it. But you've got something, these, okay? Your ignition coils in them. If it's a turbo, well, if it's turbo or non-turbo, I don't trust any ignition coils that are red top. There's a voltage difference on them that the turbo model does not like at all. If you have the 2.0 turbo, which this is just a naturally aspirated, don't buy red top ignition coils. Something I will say, Volkswagens are considered lock and key in my book. So in order to get the intake off, you have to have a 10-inch, I think it's a 6mm hex, and they sell them online, but they lock and key pretty much everything on it. So every job has to have something. It's not all like that. There's certain jobs where you can just do it. It's not a big deal, but Volkswagen has these weird things. Audi is the same way. It's the same freaking shit. So you'll notice there's lock and key stuff where you need a certain tool to perform a certain job, and that's just how it is. So, oh, got someone beeping at me, dude. To be honest with you, I'd rather drive a CRV than a Civic. Well, and actually CRVs aren't that bad. Let me restate that. I actually know a few people that drive them. I did a transmission in it with some help. I was just dicking around helping someone out, and they really aren't that bad. The only thing was getting the ball joints out and stuff like that. I didn't have a press on me. I didn't have any of the specialty tools that I have now, so it was a while ago before I really started picking up pace. But what else can I tell you? I'm kind of looking around at different cars here going, I can't really find much, but freaking thing's heavy, dude. I'm looking for a Beetle turbo. That's the thing, is I looked at every freaking pick and pull from here to California, and I could not find one Beetle. They're all stuffed in this yard, the one with no freaking order to it. But here we go with the turbocharger. So what I did, what I had going on here was somebody ripped out a vacuum tank, a whole bunch of crap. They come undone, they just blow apart. But I had to redo a vacuum system in it, which really wasn't that fun. It was kind of a pain in the ass. But I had to rewire pretty much everything to it, dude. It really wasn't fun. So I'm going to be pulling some clips really quick. I got a customer that you guys would probably laugh at the job that I did with it, but I had to make with what I had. I actually ran female connectors in here because the sensor was ripped out completely, which was complete crap. But you can see, I think it's the same one. Yeah, it was the right one. So the one thing I have missing is this clip. This clip here, this clip here. I was missing actually a few things that I wasn't really too fond or happy about. It was this here and this there. So a lot of it is. I'm just gonna be pulling a few things here. This guy's moving right here, so clip. So, yeah, so what I had to do was rewire, and I had to do vacuum lines. I had 2 wires sticking out here, and I had 2 sticking out for here. And I had to run female connectors, but with this one here, I can show you guys, when you take these connectors off, you can chip them away on the inside, and they have metal clamps to the wires. So if they get ripped out, you can open up the clamps to them, the little crimps, stick the wire in there and repress them and crimp them. If they get pulled out, you can still do that and it'll still work. That was just what I had a problem with here. I finally found one of these. I was waiting for parts on this thing for a while, dude. I mean, a while. I'm gonna be honest with you. If you want a good car for gas mileage, the Mitsubishi Eclipse was not bad. The O2 sensors in the 3rd generation are a little bit different and difficult. You'll notice that on the 3rd generation, you'll have to pull the carpet back. It might be like this on the 2G, I can't remember. But you pull the carpet back in order to get the clip for the downstream. And a lot of people cannot freaking stand doing the downstreams on them. I don't care, it takes me like maybe 20 minutes for the downstream, and that's me screwing around. But with the Eclipse, if you want a good gas mileage car, the old 2G 5-speed with the 2.0 non-turbo, it's great on gas, dude. I never really had any issues with it. Good gas mileage, put new sensors in it. I think generally it just goes. I've got another Jeep, so it's, let's see. Oh, we got the Grand Cherokee here again. Back to this one. One thing I am going to be back for is these. If you go underneath, sorry, I'm acting weird. You can see this side here. So if you swap fog lights into your Jeep in this generation, you need to take these plastic covers and you have to pull the bumper off and see where these indentations are. You're going to run a Dremel. You can cut them with an X-Acto knife, but I use a Dremel, and you have to cut them out of there in order to mount. That was just something that I learned about it, because they're one piece molded in there, those brackets are. So you can take those brackets out of there. And one thing you can do is when you install them, you can melt down zip ties with a soldering iron and fill that. You can basically plastic weld it together, and it holds up a lot better. But when you make your cuts for that, it's important that you don't screw them up. So you need to do it just right. Some people use X-Acto knives. I'm not really a big fan. Grab a Dremel. So you'd be better off just buying the bumper. If you have to do it somewhere like here, get a battery powered Dremel or a cut wheel and take them out. One thing I'm going to be doing is a custom mod to to Sarge, the WJ, where some people might freak out, but the Halo fog lights that they saw online, I'm actually going to get a pair of those and wire them up as blinkers. I've done it for a lot of people where they've had certain things on their car that they wanted done. That's one of them I'm actually going to do that I have not done to a Jeep yet, is Halo blinkers, which is one I'm sure the Jeep community will go up in arms, and you must be driving some street mobile. I ain't driving no street mobile, and I'm not out in the mud with my Jeep. You want to call her a pavement princess, go ahead, but mine's more of a mechanic work truck, to be honest, so I'm pimping mine out, you feel me? So I'll probably drop a video on it, but now that I know that that's there, I'll probably come back and grab those another day. I'm just looking for an inline 6. This thing is heavy, dude. Another Patriot here. Probably not a damn thing under the hood. What you want to bet? Gone. Lo and behold, I'm in here screwing around again. Coming up empty. But giving you guys another little tour, I suppose. Something you should know about a Jeep is if your rear main seal goes bad on the inline 6, you do not have to separate the transmission from the engine. That is something certain people will see. My rear main seal's bad on the Jeep, I'm just going to throw it away because people already know I got to take my transmission out. It's a 2-piece seal, and if you buy the oil pan gasket, it comes with it. You can buy it by itself, but if you buy the oil pan gasket, it comes with it, and you can slip those in there. Hey, there's a freaking Jeep. I didn't even see that one earlier. But that oil pan gasket, it comes with it. So if your rear main seal's leaking, don't throw your freaking replace the seal and sell it. So when it comes down to it, don't throw them away. If the rear main seal is bad and you don't know how to do an oil pan, or you don't have the money to do the gasket, buy some Lucas. Thicken that up and try some Lucas. I've done that numerous times, and it takes 10W, so sometimes it'll leak if you have a thinner oil in it. Use Lucas if you can't afford that rear main seal, but always replace that seal instead of trying to remedy it with a bottle. I don't know how many times I've told people that is. Replace things before you remedy it with a bottle, but if you want to limp it by, you can try that. And it works. It does work. Sometimes it doesn't. So, a 3.7 V6. That's what we're looking at here. Oh yeah, this is on. I'm going to try and get this thing in here for a second. This in here, so this is what I'm going to end up. My plan is to put a Dodge Dakota engine in a WJ. So that's probably what I'm going to be doing here soon. Is I'm going to pick up another Jeep, probably a WJ. I like the crossover here for some reason. It's kind of a cool thing. So a 99 or 2000. And try and stick a 3.7 or a 4.7, probably the 3.7 V6 in there. I like V6s, but I would prefer the straight. I just want to see if it can be done. I'm sure it can be done. I haven't done it yet. I haven't even looked it up online. My plan is I'm going to start buying some stuff and just messing around. There's some motor swaps that I've thought about trying here, so I'll get to it. But honestly, I'm kind of just a free bird right now. When I got downtime, well, that's not what we're looking for. When I've got downtime like this, I kind of go and look around and pull things apart. And so, certain cars, like if I'm gonna be messing with an XB and I want to put a certain engine in it, or I want to do a certain repair, I've got a repair coming up, I'll come out here and I'll do the repair first, just in case there's some hiccups that I know I'll run into. And it's the difference. Some people, you're taking a job and you'll look online, you'll see, oh, okay, I've got to do this, and this, but you don't really know what that's like until you do it. So if I'm new to a certain vehicle, like BMW, I'll come out here and just wrench it. If I got to drop a transmission or a drive line, which I did a few drive lines recently, I'll come out here and drop them and see what I need. So I'm not showing up to a job blind. You only get so much information if you're looking online. Everybody looks online, but my thing is, I'm not a BMW mechanic. Personally, I think they're well-built machines. I just don't like them. Cadillac. So I had one of these not too long ago, a job that was actually, I was passed up on. Let's see if I can get this hood open. What the heck? Exact same engine, okay? Valve covers on these are a little bit complicated. To get them out, it takes a while. It's longer to get the driver's side out than it is the passenger. It was something that I ran into. Look at the passenger side, man. You're basically pulling off hardly anything and doing it. You take your intake off. There's certain things you take off, but this side it's hard because you have lines. You have more crap in the way here, but there's stuff in the back. Like you can see, the harness is just the vacuum setups. It's a pain in the ass to get the valve cover off on this side. Once you get enough stuff out of the way, it's not so bad. There's a mandatory RVT on that job, but you have to RVT the half moon and the corners, and there's certain pieces you have to do in certain orders. When you do valve covers on any car, make sure that you torque in the sequence that's recommended. Usually it's you know, in an X pattern or an inside to outside pattern. Look up, but you can screw it up real easy, dude. So what else we got here? Kia Soul. I got a story for you. So there was a dude, a dude that had his Kia stolen, and he called me up, and I'm not knocking on him. I actually thought he was a good guy until he kind of wanted to fight me or something. That was weird. But this dude, he called me out to install ignition. He hurt his wrist or something. I'm not really sure what happened to him, but I went out there and finished his car, and he lost hardware for it, and it was the washer for the steering wheel, which is a specific washer that has a specific depth to it where the wheel sits flush, and I didn't install that washer, and it was because I didn't have it. It's a nice car, but it was torn to pieces. It was that job, and then afterwards, he said, "Oh, come out here and do it for 40 bucks." And yeah, trying to, you know, lure me in and do all that. Don't just show up to a job. Somebody's gonna call you out and try and fight, and don't let your ego get the best of you. Don't be a dipshit. If you're gonna run a business, do it right. So I actually told him, hey, I'm trying to locate one, and at that time I could not find one Kia Soul. I think it was a Kia Soul or an Optima, but I could not find that Kia anywhere. I looked everywhere for a washer for that thing, and the dude still just flipped out on me. And it's like, well, you lost the damn washer. So, you know, I actually told him, find the washer, call me up, I'll just do it. Dude, it's freaking, what, 5 minutes? Pop your airbag off, you know, this and that. It was really stupid. So yeah, you deal with some shit as a mobile. You deal with stuff, but that kind of enforced a rule for me, where I started telling every single customer I had, have you taken the car apart? If you have, I'm not touching it, because I don't want to have to go to the junkyard and do this and this and that, and you know, short me on cash, which has happened to me quite a bit doing mobile, where you charge somebody $250 for something and they short you and give you $100. That's happened to me before. The customers that I prefer to work for, of course, don't do that, but it's really not a big deal. For some people, I just cut them a break. You know, I only have this much, and okay, whatever. It really doesn't bother me. You know, you only got $100 on you. You know, your life's coming down on you. That's okay. But I make an exception for certain situations. But that's why I don't like working on cars that have been torn apart, because I'm running through all this crap, and I go through all this bullshit to put your car back together, and you shorted me. A, or B, I don't have the proper stuff to put it back together, so I'm off at yards like this, looking around for something that's really stupid. So, which also puts you in a position where you learn how to improvise, which helps, because you learn different things, you know, like, I can makeshift certain things to work, but it's not how it's supposed to be. I'm honestly, when it comes to cars, I'm kind of a perfectionist with certain things. Certain things I swing it and do it, I don't care, but it depends. So You'll run into it though. It's when it comes to certain things, man, I'm very particular. So, and that's based on a mechanic. I know some mechanics don't give a shit at all. You know, they're missing this, they're missing that. Oh well, you know, RVT it together. You know, that's messed up. So, one thing I can tell you is, and I'm gonna say this. I've said this before on one of my videos, but if you buy that car right there, okay, you should probably buy a parts car that's coming from a mechanic. If you buy a freaking 2025 or 2026 vehicle, obviously you're not going to buy a parts car. It's how the world turns, it's how life goes. You're just not going to buy a parts car. I mean, you might at an auction, and that's true, you might buy one at an auction, but say you buy like a 10-year-old car, or you buy like a 15-year-old car, 10-year-old car, 20-year-old car, 30-year-old car, pick up a freaking parts car. Go on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist and look up your year, make, and model, and I can guarantee you will find a parts car. Pick one up, stick it in your backyard or your driveway or your garage, and pull it apart. Take everything off of it. And I know people would look at me and start laughing, oh, that's stupid, yada yada. Well, you're not paying anything for parts. If you're willing to do the work, then it's worth it, because you're not going online. Parts aren't discontinued that you can't find, which is something that I've told people, is if you have a car that has discontinued parts, like some of the Infinities I've ran into, you buy a parts car for it, because you're probably going to run into a situation where you don't have parts. So, and you think about it, your axles go bad on your car like that. Poor axle that got ripped out of this Mini Cooper. You got that one over there in your garage. Say that's your car and you just broke an axle and you can't afford the $300 axle because it's a freaking Mini Cooper. Well, I'm using that as an example. I don't know how much a Mini Cooper axle costs, but it's wise of you to buy a parts car. Engine's blown, $500, take it. A lot cheaper buying $500 for a parts car and a tow. You got AAA, they'll just tow it right to your freaking driveway and set it down. You can stick it up on jacks, you can tear it apart, have it organized in your garage in boxes or on shelves or whatever you have. I think, honestly, I think that the people should start leaning towards that. I know car companies would probably throw a bunch of apples and rocks and empty cups at me or whatever. Say with your Mini Cooper, you have A-arms that go bad, or you need new shocks and springs. Pick up the engine here. Well, there's nothing there. It's an imaginary engine. But say you need, let's say you have an ignition coil, or you need your ignition coils replaced. You need an ignition coil. You don't necessarily have to go online and buy a freaking brand new one. I mean, it's smart, okay? It's smart to buy brand new stuff for ignition. But if you have that type of stuff, it's good. Say your cylinder head blows and you bought a car with a bad transmission in it, you still have a good cylinder, the engine still runs. So your engine blows, you still have an engine for it. And that's if you're willing to do the work. You have a house, you have this, you have that. I mean, there's a lot of factors involved. Obviously, if you're staying in your freaking studio apartment, you know, you really don't have room for a damn parts car sitting out in the parking lot. Another thing I'd mention, so for the Volkswagen, say I buy a GTI, okay, and it's a 2008, and I end up buying a 2007 parts car. I have all these relays I can pull, which you can label, by the way, and this is if you plan on keeping that car, which is a smooth move and a wise investment, because you're not out paying a freaking car payment and throwing your money out in the wind. And hey, look, for some reason there's shotgun shells in here. Weird. What in the hell's up with that? So, think about it. You have a seat motor that goes out, okay? Or a seat relay. You can take these seat motors, these switches, if you need these switches. Little things that you can take that would cost you the money adds up. When you're online and you're buying parts, or you're at O'Reilly's, you're at AutoZone, or you're at Napa, the freaking parts add up, dude. You know, I'm not talking like spark plugs. You don't buy freaking parts cars so you can get spark plugs, because they're probably freaking blown anyway. Like those, oil everywhere. So, yeah, little Honda. So, you do it for a reason. So, say somebody hits you, dude, and you have liability, but you don't have full coverage, and somebody slammed into your door or hit you in the front and, you know, bent up your fender and your front bumper. You have all of that stuff on your parts car, you know, that you removed. You keep. Think of all the bolts you may need. And to be honest with you, something I learned that I should have done was bought a parts car for the Infinity that I had, because of glass issues. Glass costs money. If you know how to do a windshield, you know, you can pick it up and do it. Grab a windshield kit and do it. Grab a Sawzall. Buy shit. Buy tools. You know, learn how to do it. It's, you know, if you don't have anything else to do with your time, I'm more of a free bird, to be honest with you, and I was kind of forced into that lifestyle, so that's just the way it is. Do something like that, you know. If you have off time and you really don't want to be screwing around at the club and doing this and this and that, buy yourself a parts car. Don't be dicking around at the club anyway. What the hell are you doing? Getting faded. So, yeah. There's a lot of, like, say you buy something, Jaguar, expensive, breaks down a lot. And I'm not saying that about every Jaguar. Jaguar, don't throw rocks at me. What I'm saying is, I know you get the damn picture. Jaguar. Oh, where's my latch for it? Okay. Yeah, I don't have anything. So, say you have something in here that goes wrong. It could be something as simple as a relay that costs you $40 brand new online. Or something like your tensioner that would cost you money. You can take it from your parts car, which for Jaguar isn't cheap. Sensors, throttle body position. Look underneath. What happens if you crack an oil pan? You have it there. It's wise to do it. Some people may say it's foolish. I don't care. If I buy, second I got a house, I'm buying parts cars. That's just the way it goes, dog. It's just the way it goes. Now set it aside, because I don't like blowing money on parts. And I'm not talking about spark plugs and belts. I'm not talking about stupid stuff like oil filters. Let's be real. I'm not going to take an oil filter off of a freaking used car and stick it on. Well, I mean, I would if I had to. But that's kind of dumb. But say, I mean, it's as simple as, you know, what's wrong with the car, okay? You bought a car, it's a nice car, it's got low mileage, but you know something's going to break on it eventually. You bought a car that's got, say it was hit in the butt, it was hit in the rear end, okay? You got an engine and a transmission. It runs and drives, but it sure fishtails everywhere, and you can't drive it. It's a total title. It was salvaged and totaled, so you can't screw it. Man, that Jaguar is cool. A salvage total title. That thing is badass. My step-grandfather had one of these. Well, it wasn't this old. These ones are old school. But, well, actually, it might have been the same era. I don't know. But if you have a parts car that got hit in the butt, in the rear end, and it's expensive, say you got a Mercedes, you know, I wouldn't advocate, you know, well, I'm not going to say that. Actually, I would drive them. They're actually really nice, but I don't like working on them too much. But say you have one that was hit in the side, the back, you have a boatload of parts, a running engine, a running transmission, it's operational. I don't know if you've looked at prices online, but order a fuel pump for a Mercedes. Order certain things for a Mercedes and you'll see what I'm talking about. What's that? Let's try to see if there's a V12 in this or what it was. I can't really see. No idea. V8, V12, V10, don't know. So basically, I don't know, these weird ass cars. I don't know what that is, to be honest. But, so you look online though, and you see how much parts cost you. It comes down to it. It's worth it to me. You know, some people can say, "Oh, just go to a junkyard and grab it," and this and this and that. Well, that's cool, but I don't know if you've seen the rising cost of everything. Junkyards aren't so cheap. Some things here cost a little bit of money, and if you think about it, transmission at a junkyard here, I priced it out at $350. Well, maybe I want an engine with that too. This and that. $350 for an engine, $350 for a transmission. You might as well buy the parts car and pull it. Then you get every single other thing that's on the car that you might need. For example, a EKPS fuel pump for a BMW. You may need that, and you can't find one, or they're too freaking expensive. It's just a fact. There's other clips. So, this thing's screwed. I think it's a 2.0 in there. Yeah, it's a 2-liter distributor. So, I just agree with it, especially if you buy an older car. I mean, look at that damn thing. At a certain point in time, things like this, they're not going to be made. You're going to have parts that are discontinued. I think it's wise to buy a parts car with your car. Some people may disagree, but hey, look. What happens if you have a Camry like this? Okay? And the one you bought has shitty seats in it. They're tore up. You know, you've got your mirror switches don't work, your blinkers are screwed up. You bought a car that was a bad find, or has problems that go wrong with it. Things that are recalled that aren't covered anymore. You've got a parts car sitting there you can just yank it from and throw it in there. Some stuff you have to buy. You know, don't buy a damn parts car to get brake pads off of it. Let's be real. I'm not talking about wear parts. I'm talking about parts. So you throw a rod, you've got a block. You know, your power steering line's leaking, you have a power steering line. You're not going online paying all this freaking money for this, and this. Think about how much money you spend on your car in over, and I'm not talking about a brand new car, don't dick me around in the comments, but think about how much money you spent on your car that you probably could have bought a parts car and saved a hell of a lot more. That's the way it is. And I'm not saying you have to take the doors off of it, it's probably a good idea, but I'd say if you have a house and a garage, completely debone a car, whatever's good on it, and chuck it, and you'll probably find that you would use most of these things that came up, and you don't have to sit there and, oh, I need a new car and this and that. Don't be an idiot. Buy a car and drive it. You know what I mean? So, but you think about it, you have a Dodge Durango. All of this you could use, okay? Anything that goes out, if your brake booster goes out, you know what I'm probably going to do is look up online at what these parts cost, and maybe even drop it in the comments as links, just to make a statement. But used car, buy a parts car, strip it, got your parts. And even if you have to hire another mechanic to come install it, at least you can use it as a project to tear it all apart. You know what I mean? You can do it yourself. You can learn that way too. Light bulb, you can learn that way. Well, you can learn by coming to the junkyard and dicking around like I do, I guess. So in the comments, drop a year, make, and model. I'll run to a junkyard and start tearing it apart for you. see what's good in here. Dude, that's beautiful wood grain. The other thing I'm going to be doing here soon is my illumination board here is out. I'm going to show you guys how to do a mod where you can run LED strips. And I think maybe you guys saw the box that I had that I installed into the Infinity on my TikTok. I'm going to end up installing it in there and running my switch panel. So a few things I'm going to do, I'm going to teach you guys. So, looks like a damn demon ran through here, sheesh. So, I'm just going to be running through some things, but one thing I do know I am missing is a fan. I have an electric fan. Somebody took the manual fan on it, so I'm going to be grabbing that here soon. So, now we know we have an inline here. Checking for goodies. I don't see anything. Got an inline 6 here. How much do you guys charge for cylinder heads? For what? Cylinder heads. Looking for, I got it. There's an inline 6 sitting right there for a Jeep. I'm looking at maybe pulling it here.
Right here?
Yeah.
It's probably not something, if it's up here, it's not.
Oh no, it's around the corner. It's got hood off, tires are flat. It's right around the corner from where he's working.
Which one? Because they're usually, because we got a bunch of overstock right here.
Huh?
We got a bunch of overstock cars right here.
Here, can I leave this right here? Is that cool? Yeah. Okay.
Because we're draining them and then they go on the pad and we pull the motors.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Like all these are overstock right
It's
here.
that one over there sitting right
next to the bin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's getting ready to go over there.
Is it?
Yeah. They'll sell the whole motor.
I'm looking for inline 6 heads, so they're all V8s, man.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah. Or they're pulled, one of the two. So right. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Well, all right, man. Appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay, so that was absolute crap. The only inline 6 I got, man, they are gonna pull the engine and stick it out there. Now I know why so many of these engines in this yard are empty. So seems like this one, wide variety of vehicles that you but they pull engines a lot more than pick and pull does. So pick and pull, a lot of times they just throw them out there. So I'm assuming that that Jeep motor is good. My plan was to pull a cylinder head. And it wasn't because mine needs to be replaced, it's because I wanted to have a spare cylinder head and rebuild it. I was going to actually rebuild it on film. So I'm going to sit here for a second, give me some drink. Can't drop that habit yet, still trying. So yeah, once I find an inline 6 cylinder head, I'm going to end up pulling it.
I'm gonna rebuild it. I'll go have it probably hot tanked or cleaned up, and I'm gonna redo the valves in it. I'll teach you guys a lot of the rebuilding the heads and the Jeeps. Other cars, if I had the cash on me, I probably would have just pulled ahead and rebuilt it. That was kind of my plan. But, well, I got some money on me, but I'm not willing to pull a Honda ahead because I don't have a Honda car. So, once I find an inline 6 head for sale here, I'll pull it on film. I'll rebuild it, and I'll reinstall it and teach you guys how to do a head gasket on it, how to do valve adjustment on it. Well, it's more tightening the valves, but let me see. Well, that's really it for today. I'm headed back to my place. I got no jobs today, so I'm just kind of doing my thing. It's one of the easy days for me. So, LW Automotive, Lone Wolf out. Peace.